Good morning. I'm ready to meditate. So I thought I would invite you all to meditate with me again this morning. We're going to do a 1 hour living inquiry meditation. It will be demonstrated, so I'll be speaking. Let me show you the template. So for the first 15 minutes, we're going to focus on what sees this and what is aware of this thought. Then for 30 minutes, we're going to focus on, are the qualities of this object separate from my awareness of, I'll change that to it. Let's change that to it. It. Are the qualities of this object separate from my awareness of it? And does this object have its own existence, independent of being perceived? And I don't know how we'll do that because I'm pretty spontaneous, but this can be done with eyes open or eyes closed. And who knows, maybe we'll alternate so we can get a feel for both. And then we'll move into an ultimate awareness practice for 10 minutes. What sees consciousness? And then, of course, that last 5 minutes, we'll rest without questions, be what's been revealed, or just abide in the openness. And of course, apply no effort to understand or maintain a particular state. So that's our template. And I have set the bells to make sure that we do not meditate too long, that I keep my commitment of an hour. So that's ready to go. Let me just take this last sip of coffee. Okay, last couple of sips. All right, that's gone. Okay. And the coffee warmer is off. So I'm going to tap start. And we are going to begin. So first, you may begin again with eyes open or eyes closed, whatever feels right for you. But we'll do a brief settling in period. And I've coached you through the settling in period several times now, so I'm not going to do that this time. I'm going to let you just settle in the way that feels appropriate for you. But just remember that the primary goal of the settling in is pulling attention out of thought and placing it in the present in some way, just bringing ourselves into the present moment instead of being lost in thought. So let's take a minute or two just to settle in. Now set your intention. And feel how important that intention is to you. And then let your intention go. We let our intention go because we don't want to manipulate an experience during meditation, even with the attempt to realize our intention. We want every meditation to be completely natural. So, although we set the intention, we also let it go. And then we just move into the direct experience of the meditation as it is. So, return now to your settling in practice, whether that's watching the breath, paying attention to the sensations in the body, listening to sounds in the environment, or whatever helps you to settle in. Let's just return to that for a moment. Now, paying attention to whatever it is that you pay attention to during your settling in practice, let's move to a question. What sees this? And let's not assume an answer to the question. Let's use looking to see what we see in answer to the question. Again, while paying attention to whatever you pay attention to during the settling in process, ask, what sees this? And then look to see what's seeing, or even where the seeing comes from. If you happen to be listening to sounds, you could change the question to what hears this? And then look towards the hearing. What is hearing? One thing you can check, regardless of whether you're asking what sees this or what hears this, you can check to see if the seeing or hearing is coming from something that is outside of whatever is being seen, felt, or heard. For example, the sensations in my head and chest and neck are what I'm paying attention to. So when I ask, what sees this? Is it something outside of those sensations that sees the sensations? Are they only seen from the outside? Or is the seeing occurring from the inside of the sensations? Are they only seen from the inside? Or is the seeing both inside and outside? Is the seeing like a fabric that runs through the sensations? You can also practice that with the breath. Is the seeing outside of the breath? Or is there seeing inside of the breath? Or is it both, like a fabric running through the breath? And if it helps, you can change the question from what sees this to what feels this. And you can do the same thing with sound. Is the hearing coming from outside of the sound? Or is the hearing somehow inside of or one with the sound? Or is it both? A fabric that runs through the sound? So use any of those questions. What sees this? What feels this? what hears this, and then check. Inside, outside, or a fabric that runs throughout. And don't think you're looking for a right answer. Just look at your direct experience and answer from that. What's true? If you find that thinking is becoming primary, more in the foreground than looking, then shift into what is aware of this thought. And you can play the same game with what is aware of this thought. Is that awareness aware of the thought from the outside? Is that awareness aware of the thought from inside the thought? Or is that awareness like a fabric that is somehow both inside and outside the thought, running through the thought? Sensations have a feel to them. Even breathing, the breath has a feel to it. It's a particular quality. If you're watching sensations or the breath, ask, are the qualities of this separate from my awareness of it? Look deep into the feeling to see what's true. the qualities of this separate from my awareness of it? And you can ask the same question with sound. Sounds have particular qualities too, such as the pitch, a high pitch or a low pitch. Some sounds are constant, some sounds are intermittent, coming and going. So as you hear a sound, you can ask, are the qualities of this separate from my awareness of it? You can even practice this with thought and emotion. Thoughts have qualities to them. There are light thoughts, there are heavy thoughts. Emotions certainly have qualities. So if your attention goes into thought or goes into emotion, you can bring it back by asking, are the qualities of this separate from my awareness of it? You could also ask, are the qualities of this separate from awareness or even aware-ing? Are the qualities of this separate from awareness? Are the qualities of this separate from awareing? You can also ask, are the qualities of this separate from being? If you feel to, you can also use the visual field for this inquiry. You can open your eyes and let the eyes see whatever the eyes see. Then ask, are the qualities of this, which of course will be color, shape, are the qualities of this separate from my awareness of it? So using sensation, breathing, sound, thought, emotion, sight, anything and everything in your environment. Stay with the questions and the inquiry and the checking and the looking. Are the qualities of this separate from my awareness of it? It doesn't matter what it is. The question is the same. Are the qualities of this separate from awareness? There is absolutely nothing that can occur that you cannot use this inquiry on. Are the qualities of this separate from awareing? Attention can bounce from sensation to sound, to breath, to sight, to thought, to emotion, to sensation, to sound. And as attention bounces, you can stay with the inquiry. Are the qualities of this separate from being? Does this object have its own existence, independent of being perceived? Or is it within awareing? Check to discover your direct experience. Are the qualities of the object separate from awareness? Or is awareness like a fabric that runs through the object, one with the sensation, the sound, the sight, the thought, the emotion? What is your experience? Does the object have its own independent existence? Or is it one with awareing? Thinking doesn't answer the question. Looking highlights the experience. Looking sees what's true. If you have a sense that the object is separate from awareness or separate from being, look and see where that experience of separateness is coming from. Is there thought causing division? Is that division coming from looking, from awareing? Or is that division coming from thinking about? What's true? And if there is thinking about, turn the inquiry on thought. Are the qualities of thought separate from awareness? Does thought have its own independent existence, separate from awareing? Again, attention does not need to be focused for this inquiry. Attention can bounce around. The only focus is staying with the inquiry, no matter where attention goes. Are the qualities of this separate from awareness? Does this have its own independent existence? Or is it within awareing? Is this separate from being? If the environment goes still, if the mind goes quiet, you can still look. You can practice this inquiry without the words. You can look to see if there is separation or if awareing goes through the silence, through the stillness. You can stay with the inquiry, regardless of where the naturalness of the meditation goes. Let whatever is be, and stay with the inquiry. Are the qualities of this separate from awareing? Is it separate from being? If there is what the mind calls a disturbance, for example, if you cough or sneeze, or there's a loud, unexpected sound that you can feel in your nervous system. You can practice the inquiry on the apparent disturbance. You can even ask, is this disturbance separate from my awareness of it? Is this disturbance separate from being? Does this have its own existence, independent of awareing? Does it have its own existence, independent of being? What sees all of this? What sees the objects in consciousness? What sees the direct experience of consciousness and the object together? What sees all of this? The object, the inquiry, the actual direct experience. Isn't there awareness of the whole of this? The objects, attention bouncing or staying focused, the inquiry, the looking, distractions, the direct experience that comes from inquiry. What sees this whole? What is aware of all of this consciousness? The entire experience of consciousness. What sees that? Isn't it true that the entire experience is known? What knows that? What is aware of my consciousness? What sees the entirety of my consciousness? What is aware of the objects in my consciousness and my consciousness of them? What is aware of the entirety of my consciousness? What sees that I am conscious? What knows that I am conscious? What sees consciousness? What sees consciousness? Now shift into resting without questions. Relax, focus. Relax into simply being. Relax into natural abiding without trying to abide in a particular state or a particular way. Pure letting go, full relaxing. No attempt at any focus, just being. full letting go. Natural, relaxed surrender into what is. Natural, relaxed surrender into what is. And now surrender a little more. Let go a little more. And that concludes our 1 hour meditation.